So back in 2018, I get a phone call one day, unexpected phone call, right? I'm up in my office just fucking working like a fucking just degenerate fucking immigrant, right? It's just alcohol. I've been in that bitch for like 2 days just fucking slaving away, right? So I get this unexpected phone call by one of my good homeboys, and he gives me a ring and was like, yo, like I'm in town, I'm out here from LA, this, that, and the third, and his brand, he runs a pretty big brand. And I'll tell you who he is in a little bit. So I was like, oh shit, like, yeah, come pull up and come see my foundation, you know? And at the time it was probably like a small little room, but we'd been scaled up out of it, but I was just like such a person that was connected and attached to the space. I just didn't want to leave. You know, when you've been somewhere for so long, you know that an environment can change you, but you know, when you just been there and you so identify with it, it's like you just don't want to get up and leave right away. That's how it basically was, right? When it just comes to this space. So he pulls up, you know what I mean? And remind you, this is a motherfucker just in the pandemic that was like pushing just 1 million units or ordering just 1 million units of just like wholesale blanks alone, right? So he's just looking at my situation like, damn, like this shit is crazy, you know? And then he was like, bro, I can tell that like you've been in this bitch grinding. And I was like, nigga, I have. Like, this is my 4th year running my brand. I was like, I'm doing a little bit of everything. Now, obviously, I had a little bit of a team and a little bit of people that's remote, but at the same time, it was like majority, like it's all coming from me, the source. Like if I die, the company stops. And that's how it is for a lot of people, and probably for you that's watching this, and for the people that are running clothing brands, even on YouTube. That's why I hate this whole like, oh, I'm running a 7-figure brand, but I'm doing everything myself. That's a slave job. You know what I mean? We're not in this to fucking go into slavery. We're doing this to actually get freedom. So obviously my younger self, I can't even blame the people on YouTube though, because it's like I was on the same shit when I was a younger dude, right? So he comes in, and remind you, he's younger than me, but he's 100 times bigger than me. So he just like, wow, like this shit is crazy. You know what I mean? Like I'm seeing your situation, and I can tell that you're working hard and stuff like that. So he was like, kind of like, talk to me a little bit, like where you at with the brand and everything like that. And I was like, bro, like I'm here with it. These are my numbers. And he was kind of in shock that like I was doing the numbers I was doing out of like this small room, and we just fucking thugging it out. Like I'm telling you, it was like a fucking degenerate, beat down, old grimy office. Like I even have a YouTube video of it. Where it's like a POV of like I'm making $100,000 a month. I recorded that video way back in like 2019 or like around the pandemic era and shit. But you can watch that, and that's the office that we were in. I'm talking about just units everywhere, thousands of units. Fucking, we throwing units off of the 4th and 3rd floor, like crazy shit, right? Because the elevator didn't work, and we had to use the stairs. I'm going up 4 stories every day, right? So crazy, just reckless shit, you know? And he was just all like, I know why your brand isn't growing. And I was like, why isn't my brand growing? And he literally told me to my face, he was like, bro, you're doing too many things. And I was like, but when you say too many things, like unpack that to me. And then he was like, bro, when it comes to the marketing, when it comes to the sales, the production, the design, the fucking operation, everything, he's like, nigga, you're literally spread too thin. And in that moment, once he unpacked like more to me, I started to understand and understand like what he meant. And I'm just all like, you're right. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm doing too much shit. You feel me? And he was just all like, bro. And I asked him, actually, I was like, what is it that got you the success that you got? And he was like, you want to know what it is? And I was like, yeah, what is it? And he was like, bro, I only focus on one thing. I was like, just one thing. He was like, bro, I only focus on one thing. And he was like, obviously, he was like, other parts of the business might need me, but 80%, 90% of my effort and time goes into this one thing. And then he was like, but that one thing, I'm doing less, but I'm making so much more. And that so much more is going out to, it's being dispersed to the rest of the team, if that makes sense. So I kind of wrote down, like right here on this, I kind of wrote this down, like, this is you, and this was me 4 years ago. And this is basically what he was saying. You know what I'm saying? This is how you accelerate. This is how you get nowhere. If you over here worried about creating designs, and then you over here about, oh, I need to go look up on YouTube how to make Facebook ads, and then over here I need to fucking go look at, oh well, how did I need to go watch the Prince Machiavelli video on how to do SMS, and then I need to go like figure out Klaviyo and SMS bump and emails, and then down here like I need to go pick up or ship out orders at 5 p.m. today because customers is pissed. Oh, and then this morning I'm even more mad because I woke up this morning and I had 100 fucking customer service complaints of people bitching and complaining about where's my pre-order and all this other stuff. You're going nowhere. You're moving at a turtle pace. But if you just focus on one thing right here and where your zone of genius is at, and then you just accelerate, then what can happen? So I'm just gonna leave this like literally right here just so you can look at it, because this is you. And it's even more things. It's probably 100 more things. This ain't even including personal life and all these other things, right? But then if you just put all your attention just into this, what do you think will happen to your brand? What do you really think will happen to your brand? And when he told me that, you know what I'm saying, that's when everything just skyrocketed for me. I looked at where my zone of genius was at. I put 80-90% of my time into that, and everything else handled itself. You know what I'm saying? Over time. And this is how I was able to only work less, but then I was making more. You know what I mean? I was only working 1 to 2 hours a day of like real intentional work with like, just like, I'm talking about unfiltered, like no distractions at all. You know what I'm saying? Just 1 to 2 hours, put that into what needed to get done. And then when I handled that, everything else got taken care of, because now I'm making more money. The money that's coming in, that's going out to the team. I'm bringing on new members. I'm building everything out remotely and in-house. Everything just started working out perfectly for me. So this video, you know what I'm saying, and I wanted to shout out the person, you know what I'm saying, like that helped me out, and his name is Jordan Bentley. He's one of the first people on YouTube that like had an interview with Virgil, and it like went viral for him and shit, you know what I'm saying. And he's a big brand. He runs an anime brand called Hypeland based out of LA. That's one of my cool and good homeboys. We came up together around the same time. And once he even doubled down into like that anime scene, that's when he just took off. He's done collabs with like Hello Kitty, Dragon Ball Z, all that shit. So y'all should definitely like go check out his brand. It's called Hypeland. Y'all should go peep that. You know what I'm saying? It's a multi 8-figure brand every single year. He's doing this thing, you feel me? And for me, you know, it was just like shit. Like, I just need to focus, and I just needed somebody like him to tell me that, because I look at the game of life, it's almost like playing in a football game. The GM can't see what the player is seeing because the player is on the field, but the GM is seeing the plays and everything that's about to happen. And then the coach sees what the players can't see. So it was almost like I was a coach or a player, and he was like a GM because he's way up here, because he has a fuck ton of more money than me, more followers, more clout, more resources, more knowledge, more everything. And he's seeing what I don't see. So him to be just come in and even in the first 30 minutes, just look at my operation and my foundation. And for him just to tell me that, it was like priceless game, because once I just looked at what's my zone of genius, and I know it was hard at the beginning, but not just worry about everything else. Once I just focused on that one thing that was my zone of genius and where I'm great at, and I put 80 to 90% efforts into that, that's when everything just skyrocketed like a planet. So if you got something from this video, you know what I'm saying, this is how I'm able, you know what I'm saying, to do more than you. You know what I'm saying? Because I just focus on what I'm great at, and then I take what's needed, you know what I'm saying, or I take the capital and everything that I gain from my zone of genius, and then that's going out to the team and stuff like that, to where they handling every single part of the company, and I don't need to overlook it or anything like that, because obviously I got A players and I have a whole entire team that where it's all built out. But the only way that you can get that capital is by doing what's necessary. But for majority of you, I already know that y'all good. I already know that you're a good creator. You know what I'm saying? Or a good creative. You know, that's not the hard part. The hard part is kind of doing the thing that either you have to be good at, because let me just go back and rewind real quick before I turn this off. Majority of brand owners, when you look at the commonality of successful ones, they all have one commonality. They are all great marketers. All of them. Caprice, me, whoever else you look up to, Hellstar, whatever. It's just like, regardless of the level, it's like motherfuckers know how to get eyeballs. You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers know how to talk to their audience and get people to buy their product. So if that's where you lack at, that's where you need to be great at. That's where you need to be exceptional at. That's where you need to be good at. I mean, yeah, that's where you need to be good at. So that's why it's like, and it's almost like playing sports. And I think I said this in one of my other videos, but Stephen Curry wasn't shooting like Stephen Curry at 8 years old, at 5 years old. He was horrible at basketball, you know what I'm saying? But he just put in more reps. The only difference between Stephen Curry and us, you know what I'm saying, is that he has a million more jump shots than us. So it's nothing but a volumes game, but everything is quantity at the beginning before it ever becomes quality. But then once you add quality and quantity, this is how you accelerate, and then this is how you go from, okay, he's ass, and then he's decent, and then he's mid, and then he's good, and then he's exceptional. You know what I'm saying? It's literally like a timeline like that. So your first time of ever putting out an offer, or ever doing a hype release, or ever putting out a product, of course you're not going to do shit with it. Of course it's not going to go how you want it to go, because right now you're ass. You're not even mid. Like, you're horrible. So just remember, it's like the more that you do, it's just like the faster you're going to accelerate to actually be good and exceptional. So once you figure out what's that one thing that needs to be done, it's just like, just focus on that, and everything else will take care of itself. With that being said, just remember to divorce from the result and embrace the craft. I'm out. I'll see you in the next video. Mwah.